technically speaking, just by virtue of like the channel that he has for his content creation is the JRB podcast channel,
Yeah.
which is his other channel from like Yu-Gi-Oh, and that was already big. So like
Oh, so he's got
technically
reach.
speaking, he is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he is technically the biggest UniVersus channel, I think,
Oh, no
by
shit. Oh,
definition,
wow.
because
Okay.
he uploads UniVersus content on a channel that already had like a bunch of
Oh,
followers
sure,
prior.
sure. That's just the way to do it,
Uh,
though. That's the way to do it.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's also like you said, it's a great overlap because it's just like the people that are watching his stuff already are Yu-Gi-Oh players. So like, if you're gonna play a complicated card game already and you want to try a new one, why not this one,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so we're now live. Everyone, can you guys hear Mitch okay? I just want to make sure that you guys can hear Mitch fine. Chat, let us know. I got Mitch
Hey,
on,
chat.
hot off of the Red Riot Games 1K victory. Craziness.
Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't watched the deck profile yet, but I've already seen it posted a million times. Yo, that's cool. Okay, Ross says we can hear you just fine. That's cool. That's cool. Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I am a gigantic fan of Red Riot Games.
Okay.
Both the store, Steven himself, all the people there. We've been twice so far. Phil won the last 1K that we went to. I don't know if that was like the last one chronologically, but
Okay.
it was the last one we went to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I got this one.
Hell
so.
yeah. Cool. So everyone, yeah, we're just gonna start a little early because I told Mitch we're gonna start a little earlier, just to accommodate the great player he is, and to let him, because I know he probably has like homework to do or something, most likely, because yeah.
I have a week and a half before I'm back in class.
Oh,
so
that's even better. Hell yeah.
I have free time.
Hey.
Yeah. Last semester was awful. I had 14 credits and I hated myself.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
But you know, I only have 14 total credits left, and those are spread out across 3 semesters.
Oh,
so we'll be okay.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So yeah, I through the grapevine, as we get started, through the grapevine, I've heard the reason why I had Mitch on this week is that through the grapevine, I heard that Mitch is a big fan of the Take 10 show, and granted, it's only 3 episodes old, but I guess like the whole question and answer thing kind of has been done in our game for a long time. Like, you know, we people on, it's something kind of newer for me. Like, I'm not used to having other people on the stream, but like back in the day, I used to stream with Rob and Barrett every Monday or whatever. Not stream, but we would record because I wasn't good enough at computering. So, but yeah, so I wanted to have him on because one, he's a cool dude. He's one of my good friends, and he brings the coolest DC deck building cube ever. So I'm hoping number 3 is the answer. I think it is, but I'm probably wrong. So, but yeah,
huge fan of the format
Yeah.
because it's like we've talked before. Just like when I'm like hanging out at your house or whatever, I'm really good at yapping if someone gives me something to start with.
Yeah.
But like starting a conversation or like driving the conversation myself, I'm not the best at, which is why I love the format of like question and answer.
Okay.
Or, like, regimented, like here's what we're doing as guide rails, but then also we just talk, right?
Yeah, and I think that's because when I had Brett on for the last one, someone challenged me like, "You're gonna keep him under an hour," and I'm like, "I'm good. I got rails that we can go on, but we can go side. We can jump side to side every now and then." And,
for sure.
You know,
yeah.
And I think that's part of the fun is that when you start riffing off of each other and you just hang out and have a conversation,
Shoot
right?
the shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I guess as we're getting into it, how'd you guys find? Was like there a post or something about the Red Riot thing? I'm not on Facebook, so I never see any of that stuff.
So I had no idea about it until Danny Fong told me about it. Because we went to the last one and Danny was down here with Mike for Phil's birthday.
Oh, okay, okay.
And prior to coming down for Phil's birthday, he was like, "Hey, are you guys interested in coming up for this 1K again?" Steven kind of like stealth dropped it this time around, and I was like, "Yeah, for sure." I was like, "Yeah, for sure."
Yeah.
It's like Toronto is like a 3.5 hour drive from us. That's not bad at all, right? So I was super down to go. Phil opted out this time around, but like, if I got a place to stay for free and I can get there and back on like a tank and a half of gas, it's fine.
Yeah.
Plus, like, I for the first regional of this season that was like new, I was busy with something else, so I feel a little behind as far as like competitive play this year goes.
Gotcha.
I needed reps before Albuquerque anyway.
Oh, you're going? Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be at Albuquerque.
Awesome. Cool.
One of the 30 people signed up currently or whatever.
Yeah, I heard but that's just traditional UVS gamers, right? We don't sign up till like the week of, right?
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
yeah,
I anticipate it being like 50 people or
yeah,
more.
yeah,
But it is definitely like, hey, where is everybody? Just
yeah,
like looking around
exactly.
like
Yeah.
the you know.
You're walking in like was it the John Travolta gif or thing?
That's what I was about.
He's always
Yes,
like
that's literally yeah.
he's looking
I was
around.
trying to remember the name of the movie, but I didn't want to
Yeah.
embarrass myself by being like,
Oh, I
"Who
don't
made it? The
remember the
Rock's
movie
movie?"
name.
No,
I
it's
just
it's
know
Pulp
that.
Fiction. I'm pretty
Yeah, I think
sure.
it's probably Pulp
Yeah,
Fiction. Yeah. Cool. So you took a Deku deck, right? Like, what was like? I know
I did.
you've
Yeah.
you've been. I think you've played him. I know like you've played him in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah. So prior to Nats of I guess this year technically, but
Yeah.
like last year's
Mhm.
Nats or whatever. Um, I was working on the combo Deku deck on the good symbol because it's like my favorite symbol, and I really like my favorite type of deck to play in this game. Believe it or not, is combo, despite the fact that I usually play aggro. Um, but like there just hadn't been like a combo deck with like a very streamlined like this is what we're doing exactly, and we do it very consistently since the Staff Strike Jiro deck.
Mhm.
So when Deku came out and we were doing Phantom Threat stuff, I was like, oh, this is sick. I love this. And even in the same vein of like using evil versus good to cancel people's cancels,
Yeah.
like you did in the Jiro deck,
Mhm.
right? So I put a lot of work into that. But like realistically speaking, I usually like winning.
Yeah.
So like I enter tournaments with
Yeah.
what I think is either the best or most unfair deck.
Sure.
More often than not, and it just wasn't like the most unfair thing going into Nats, in my opinion. But I did like I innovated the deck, or I innovated and made a bunch of changes to the deck a bunch of times and passed people my lists
Yeah.
whenever they were like, hey, I'm considering this. And that's what I'll do a lot of the time is like if someone goes, oh, do we have like data on this or like any reps on this, I'll be like, hey, here's like this pony list that I made a bunch of changes to, did this, that, and the other thing. Here's where I stopped. Here's the problems it still has. You can answer them on your own. And like I'll just do that whenever like anyone needs like a list that I have put any amount of meaningful time into myself.
Sure.
But that was kind of the way it was with Deku. And then going into like this past week, I was like, am I just playing Nick at this event and just like trying to like pub stomp or whatever? And then I like could have just literally ran the same Nick deck back from the Boar's Hat event, and probably been fine, right?
Yeah.
But then like Wub, who incredibly prolific deck builder, was just like messing around with random jank and was like, hey, Deku's pretty good on like 3 different symbols right now, and like you were right insofar as he scales crazy with attuned because he has 5 fucking symbols.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
he like passed me a list, then he stopped caring about it, and I was like, wait, this is kind of fucking tight.
Yeah.
And I played a bunch of games with it, and it has like the holy trinity of the most annoying block tricks. So
Okay.
like played that, and it was very cool.
Speaking of the Boar's Hat list you brought, Storm of Blade said, I mean, I wholesale stole Mitch's Nick list he played at Boar's Hat to top the UK regional. So it was Richard.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Richard just stole
Hell
your
yeah,
list
there
and
we
just
go.
took it. Yeah. Hell yeah, he said Manka Cook. So yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna have to give your compliments to the chef. That was just Wub's list.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
You
like
know,
you,
Wub made,
because like being on MGLA, like you and Wub and a couple of the other guys on there, really, there you go, like share, like you guys, you're, for the lack of the better term, even though Kevin won Worlds, you guys were probably the most. I don't know, because Tim won a regional. It's like you and Rochester, like you guys are in Rochester, like the two most competitive, the best run this past year.
We had a crazy
right?
run.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. We had a crazy run last year.
Like you guys 1 and 2'd and 4th at Nats,
yeah,
right?
I think it. Well, yeah.
Theoretically, right?
Ryan is his own entity. Ryan is mostly like gaming giant, but he like play tests with like Wub and all of us sometimes.
Yeah.
But top 4 of Nats was 3 MGLA.
Yeah, that's insane.
Fun.
That's just crazy, right? Like that harkens back to the days where like in the old UFS days where it was like, oh man, Atlanta took like 6 of the top 4, of top 8, and then
right, very region.
Yeah, or like what is it?
Yeah.
Like when Detroit, like Andrew, Matt, Phil, yourself, like just come and just beat everyone's ass. It's just like, man. But it's kind of cool though that we have like these regional, like we have these teams kind of back in like
Yeah.
this. It's not like the old. It's not like a rivalry, but it's like a friendly rivalry because we're all just like still friends and we all just game
Oh,
together
for
and,
sure.
and we
Yeah.
share lists and we do all that stuff, right? It's like we're just
Yeah, it's more like singularly like an identity, right?
Mhm.
Where as opposed to being like, oh, what's Omaha on for this PTC, or like
Yeah.
what are like the Detroit guys doing? It's
Mhm.
like, oh, like this guy's on MGLA. It doesn't really matter like where he's from specifically, but
Yeah.
like MGLA knows about this deck and thinks this is
Correct.
cool.
Yeah.
And like Let's Talk UVS is doing this.
Mhm.
Final round is doing this, etc.
Yeah. Final round's just
Um,
goofing. That's all we do. We just goof. We're mad goofing.
that's good. That's where the best shit usually comes from.
Yeah, we try. We
Uh,
try. We try. But yeah, like so you were at 20 at this past Worlds. You got top 16 or I know you were
top 32.
top
I
32. Okay.
accidentally cursed
Okay.
I cursed myself and Wub on accident. We both made top 32. I told him his opponent was Ben Lambright in top 32, and I beat Ben in Swiss, and I was like, oh, you have a pretty decent matchup here because like
Oh no.
every single one of your Hanji attacks does 10.
Mhm.
So like you're putting him on the back foot pretty hard. So King Ghidorah has like a harder time, not a lot
Yeah.
of breathing room.
Yeah.
And then he just like got the worst luck ever
Oh.
all the time and got like a two build or something like that. And I was like, oops.
Oh man.
And then
Poor Wub.
I played against Travis,
Yeah.
and Travis and I always have really, really sick matches. It's always so crazy and
Mhm.
close. But this time around, there was no physical timer,
Mhm.
so we were following the timer on the app,
Yeah.
and it was off by a bit. So I played an awful line
Okay.
in a regular game, but in a game where we were going into turns, and we both thought we were going into turns, my line was like good.
Okay.
And then the judge goes over and goes, what are you guys doing? You have 25 minutes left.
Oh my
And Travis is
gosh.
too good of a Travis is too good of a player to let me come back from a spot that I put myself in.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
was like that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was happy he made it all the way to
Mhm.
finals. That's
Very
not
cool.
couldn't be much better of a person to lose to. There.
Yeah, like it's kind of it's. I know we're talking about you today, but I want to kind of tangent to Travis real quick,
Yeah,
because I'm gonna have
absolutely.
him on the show eventually. It's kind
Good.
of crazy. Like back in the day, like he didn't travel that much, because he was younger.
Mhm.
And now,
Yeah.
now that he's able to travel, he's just proven that he's one of the best players in the game, along yourself.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
And a lot of a lot of like the MGLA guys you guys are considered top tier players. People like they want to be you guys, and men want to be you, and women want to meet you, or whatever. Everybody wants to be MGLA or one of the top tier teams, and I think it's really cool to see like people grow in the game. Like
Yeah, for sure.
like I know you've been known as the Jiro guy for like the longest time,
Yeah.
and now you're branching out. You're dabbling in a bunch of different things, which is really cool because I always knew like you were very analytical in your play style. Like you always were doing the math like steps ahead of people,
Oh, for
and
sure.
I can't do that. I'm a vibes gamer, so it's like you instantly
That's
have
fair.
you have a leg on me anytime we play because you know the outcome before I even do it. But I'm just like, it feels good. I'm slamming it, and sometimes it
Yeah,
works,
no, for
and,
sure.
and sometimes it doesn't. So
Yeah, a lot of it just kind of boils down to like if you are like incredibly meticulous about like your prep or a
Mhm.
deck list, that's like one certain avenue or like skill that you can build.
yeah,
But a lot of it really kind of is just like riding a bike. You never really lose it. Like that's why it's all of the people who were good at UFS are good at UVS. Weird,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like even though the game has changed and even though it's been like introduced to a bunch of like new players, like the new blood is also incredibly strong and good at the game because they
Mhm.
have like card game experience. But
yeah,
that's the thing too, is like it's card game experience. It's just not the same card game. Right?
Yeah.
So like all of the people who have put the reps in, even if you take like a break or like even if you take some time off,
Yep.
you can come back to it pretty quickly because it's the same game. It's just a new skin of paint and
Yeah.
new cards to figure out our bullshit and our not bullshit.
Speaking of like I was gonna lead into the AOT3 thing, but I kind of want to get into like your content creation before we get into that.
Sure, yeah.
So like I know you have a channel, and I'll link it in the in the when I post the video of the Take 10, I'll post it. Obviously, I'll link it in the description box. So please go find Mitchell Cimino on YouTube, and are you on Twitch?
I'm not on Twitch. I used to be on the grind a bunch with Tam.
Yeah.
But scheduling wise, it's just kind of been
Yeah.
not like all there.
Okay.
Because like, it's funny. The the real reason that I like fell off on the grind was we all like everyone who used to be on it prior to like Tam transitioning to final round or whatever
Yeah.
was we all were like, what's the best day to move the grind to? And everyone agreed like we can do Friday and we can do like mornings because then everyone has time because like
Yeah.
whatever, and then everyone has locals on Friday and it'll
Yeah.
be great. And I was like, all right, sick. And so the 2 weeks after we did that, like both the 2 weeks in a row, I showed up at like noon on Friday
Mhm.
and no one was there.
Oh no.
And by the time they all got on, it was like 4, and I was like, well, I got to get ready to go to locals. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so then it just kind of kept moving without me, and it's like,
Sure.
whatever.
I mean, like,
But
you have your local scene, and then like just before we tangent into your content creation, but you do have, like, you play on TTS, you have a team to team. Like, that's a thing about having a team, is that you can test with those people whenever you can, right?
oh, for sure.
And that's something to go off
exactly.
of. Like having that MGLA or a Wub or a Ryan, you know, and having that experience. Granted, they are fairly newer players to the game, but they are very good newer players to the game because of their card game
crazy.
background. They're crazy, right? Like, I take any Wub list and I instantly snatch it and I build it myself because I just like the way Wub deck builds. I love the deck building process that he has. So.
Yeah, at any point in time, if I send you a Mitchell Cimino list and you get a Mitchell Cimino list from Wub or Ryan, I would play theirs before mine. Like, I am not the best deck builder from the ground up. I'm very good at tuning decks. Like, if I'm handed something and you go, I think this is really sick, and I play it like 2 or 3 games on TTS, and I go, I also think this is really sick, but these cards need to change, or like it needs to do this better. I can do that. Like, if you pass me a deck and give me like 3 or 4 days, I can pass you back a very, very, very good version of that deck.
Yeah.
But if you go, hey, can you build me like Jin? I'll go, no, but you can build it, and then I'll help.
First, you ask which one, because there's 2 of them.
Yes, yeah.
Which one are you playing? But like with your content creation, we know we just put out a video about your 1K win. Are you looking to expand into? I know you and Ryan and I believe Wub have the podcast coming out. You were talking pregame.
Yes, yeah. We have been saying for a while that episode 1 of Where Wub, the podcast, will be dropping soon. We recorded it 3 different times because the first time we recorded it, we talked for way too long. The second time we recorded it, everything went great, and then Ryan went out of town, and we didn't post it for like 2 or 3 extra weeks after we recorded it. So by the time we would have released it, it was like speculations about the upcoming ban list, and then it was 2 weeks after the ban list when we would have had time to post it. And then literally about 2 or 3 hours ago at this point, we finished recording episode 1 proper, added a new member, so it's me, Wub, Travis, and Ryan.
Okay.
And that should be going up on the MGLA channel tomorrow.
Okay.
And by should I mean it has to, because it will have Ryan's card reveals in it. So
okay, cool, awesome.
It must go.
It must go
up by tomorrow.
It must go.
Look out for that.
Cool, awesome. I know this time around you did not get any type of reveals, but are you going to hope to get anything for Street Fighter or for Ninja Turtles, possibly?
Oh, I would love to. I have for the Street Fighter stuff, I know like I'm pretty excited about, I think it's Drive is what it's called, like the new like maybe
reversal
thing,
right?
Yeah, like I'm very excited for that. I like Street Fighter the IP. I'm a fan of like the games. I played a lot of Third Strike in high school.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, I'm actually like a fan of Street Fighter.
Hell
period, yeah. Right, so I'd love to get reveals for that. But yeah, I've gotten reveals before. It's just sometimes they don't have enough to go around because there are like, many. I can't even remember what the euphemism Tam uses, but it's like many.
There's many heads. Many rising tides raise all ships type thing. Yeah.
Where like it's not a bad thing that there's a bunch of content creators, right? I'm super happy, and like if it has to be like divvied out or spread amongst other people, I don't mind not getting a reveal here and there as long as they still remember me.
It's crazy compared to back in the day where like when it was like me. Was it TCGU, Tam and Barrett, and all those, the old, and TNT Tangerman, Travis, and then like there was like a couple others that really, there was a Top Deck Hero still did things, and there's like 2 or 3 like big ones, right? I know Miles and Legendary Wolf did one, but like it's just exploded for our game. It's like my Corey in the chat goes, man, I should just have a YouTube channel and post a card thing every day, and I could be considered a content creator. And I tell him, you can, and they will take that.
Yeah.
They will instantly take that as engagement, and they love that. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
for sure. Yeah, like to be completely honest, part of it was like I started doing the content creation stuff right after the Wish tournament because like one of the options for the Wish tournament outside of like making a character card was get one of every product for the next like year or whatever for free. Uh and then like they started sending out stuff for content creators and I was like, "Oh, everyone gets that Wish. Why don't I just be a content creator then I can double dip?" And then I was like and I was like just kind of doing it as like a I might as well type thing. And then I'm actually having a lot of fun with it because like part of what I noticed in this game and like a lot of, not that I'm like a fucking expert or anything, but like part of the thing with like breaking into like doing content is like finding a niche, and the niche for this game that like didn't exist prior that I did on my channel, and it's like not, I wouldn't say like easy content to make, but it's like good content in general, is just like in-person deck profiles.
Oh
events,
yeah, I remember
right? Like
we've talked about this. I like
yeah, because like my other primary card game that I used to play before this became my primary card game was Yu-Gi-Oh, and Yu-Gi-Oh is like all about the like, hey, here's this guy, he just topped this event, we're literally still in the venue, they're making announcements for Top Cut, he just did this, what's your deck profile, tell us about it, and then like recording it, pointing the phone down, having people explain it, doing shout outs, and like, oh, this guy's from this team, I'm gonna watch this spec profile because I know those people are like crazy good with this or whatever. And just that like same feel of like really in the moment, like finding someone right after they've played their tournament experience and being like, hey, you just played like 9 to 10 rounds of like an incredibly competitive like format, you did very well, obviously, this is a deck you've put time into, yap about your deck because everyone wants to hear about it.
Yeah, and I think
it's just like
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh, you're good, no worries, sorry. It's just a good spot to be in, right? Like if you watch the deck profiles on my channel, it's like basically I just like wind people up and go, hey, talk about this thing that you fucking love. And then they do, and I get to be excited, and like the viewers get to be excited because you're just like, someone will explain something about like a card or like this is really good in like Byaku for this reason, and then I go from behind the camera, I'm like, oh, and also like it's really good here, and then they go, yeah, and then they get to like just vamp about their deck for a bit. And it's like good as a learning tool, especially for like on ramps for like people who are new to a character or to like the game period. So like it's just a lot of fun on both sides of the camera. And even if I'm the one like being like, you know, recorded for the deck profile, like I said, if I'm given a prompt, I like yapping, so like, I will tell you about exactly why I do a thing with these cards, or like what the best way to do this shit is, or why these are in the deck, etc.
I like the in venue deck profiles you do because it's fresh, right? Like when if you try to catch someone, like if I went and tried to catch someone from the UK regional, they're not going to remember every play, everything. You get them right away, right? And then it's just like
exactly like
they just go off. Yeah.
I have this. Sorry for.
Oh, you're good. No, it's fine. It's all good, man.
I bring this to all of the events.
Is it is it a tripod?
It is a little notebook.
It's a notebook. Okay.
One of my opponents, I was going to say I forgot his name, but that's part of what the notebook is for. I can tell you. One of my opponents at the 1K, Rohan, he asked me why I was like writing notes and stuff in this notebook in between rounds, or like, what's that for? And part of it is like life totals, right?
Yeah.
Part of it is like record and wins, losses, etc.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is like for my own like review process. Like I write down, did I win or lose the die roll in this game? Any notable things that happened that caused me to win or lose in specific games and why? And like, you know, what my opponent was on symbol-wise, character-wise, what their name is. So like if I'm making content for me after the fact, or if I'm using it for review after the fact, it's just incredibly helpful as like a tool. And part of this is like if you don't have like a notebook or anything like that, it's just fresh in your mind because you're still at the shit, right? Like fucking if you show up and you just played a 10-round tournament and you're not too tired to talk to me about your deck, then you're going to give me the most accurate representation of what happened and what like you want to do going forward.
Oh my god, 10 rounds? Holy shit. I mean, I guess that's like a
I mean, like that was like Worlds.
It's
right?
Worlds, right? For the most part, yeah, it was Worlds, or even like Nationals and Top Cuts, right? That's basically what it was.
Yeah, like 10 rounds total, not in one day. That's like
that's insane.
That's not something our game has ever done. I don't.
No, I remember doing back in the day. I think we did 9 straight, and we ended like at 1 in the morning. I remember because back in the old days, pairing software would break, and then they'd have to redo it by hand and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
craziness.
that'll happen sometimes.
So like with the content creation, with the podcast, with the boys, I know like how long has that been? I know you've been waiting weeks, I guess, for this stuff to happen. Like, what was the lead up process? So say someone wants to get into content creation, because I kind of asked Brett this too.
Yeah.
What did you guys just be like? Hey guys, we should just fucking do it. Like, or
so
what was it?
Yeah, part of it was just like our like again, talking about like getting into content, it's about like a niche, right? So like the 4 members of that podcast, without fucking jerking everyone off, are like insanely good players, right?
Yeah.
So like our view on stuff in the game is like valuable to the extent of like, hey, this is what these 4 people that have like the requisite top cut experience and the requisite like building ability think of these new characters, think of these things, think of what's happening in the game in general, and like that's valuable in that sense. But also in the same vein, we just like talking about the game anyways, so we might as well like record it and put it out and get more out of it. But if you're just like getting into content period, like you don't necessarily have to find like a niche. If you're just trying to do like, if it looks fun doing what like other content creators that you've seen do, then go for it, right? Like the worst that could happen is that you waste a little bit of time uploading a video that either you're not happy with or other people aren't happy with. And the best that could happen is you like wind up making something out of it, right?
Correct.
And you have a lot of fun with it.
And I think that's like the number one thing, right? Like once it has to be fun for you personally to do it, because you have to get something out of it, right? Like it may not be monetary, it may not be money, it may not be stuff, but as long as you can have fun doing it, I think you just go for it. And I think that's probably the number one thing in my book. And it's even with the card game too. Like, as long as you're having fun, you should be liking what you're doing for the most part.
Correct. Yeah. And that's part of honestly what I feel like gets a lot of people like stuck in this game. I guess that's like an allusion to like a further question from the actual part of the Take 10. That's kind of what gets people into this game is like. And I was talking to this guy Tony that I met at the Canadian 1K as well. And he's like a newer player, but he was like, yeah, I really like when like I don't think he said this verbatim, but it was like, yeah, I really like the part of the card game where like information that you're representing to your opponent is like obfuscated, right? So it's like you're representing a bunch of shit and they don't know about it, and that's like the fun of the card game. And I'm like, yes, dude. I'm like, I'm so fucking down for that. Like playing cards part of playing cards is so fucking fun, and that's like what gets people hooked on this game, because there's so many like different mechanics and like nuances and a bunch of shit going on, and like I think realistically, mechanically speaking, this is the best card game ever made at its core. Right? Like there can be sets and cards that you're like, this shit sucks, but like the core mechanics of this game, like there's a variance element to it that you can play around, right? And then you have more time than 0 turns in like other games to like turn some shit around or like play the game usually. It's a great game.
Like I think that to kind of bounce off of that, it's when a new player gets kind of going and you see that light click on in their brain, it's like, oh boy, I could do that. And it's just like, yes, you can. And like you can, and I think that's one of my favorite things is when you can bluff stuff at your rival and they don't know if you actually have it or not, or it's just like you're just present. You
have to respect it.
I'm presenting lethal. What are you gonna do about it? Well, like sometimes
like hey man, I've checked. I'll walk the dog. I might not have another one in my hand, but if you want to commit out for this attack, you're more than welcome. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of the Wish tournament and you winning a character, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I know everyone thinks Nick is the bee's knees and whatever, but I think your character is the shit. It's so much fun to play your character on all of the symbols. I haven't played good, but I know I've seen you play the good symbol version, but I can't wait for more good symbol cards to come out, hopefully. And please, we're begging here. We're begging here. We would love to see more good symbol cards because we want to see Mitchell Cimino at his full peak at the good symbol, because that's your favorite. Well, and allude to a future question. We know that's everybody knows in the world that's your favorite symbol. But yeah, like I think that it's just I know Nick's character is very good, but your character is nuanced, I guess, if you want to say. Like it plays with different zones, and I love that. Like you what I call when I remove the momentum for like to respond, I just put that in the Mitchell zone. I don't put it in there. I just put
Oh yeah.
it's called the Mitchell zone. Is what it's called.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
might as well be.
Yeah, exactly. And I just like that. And
Yeah.
like, what was the? I guess this was a question I'm kind of just dropping on you out of nowhere. But what
No,
was
go
the
for it. Go
what
for it.
was like the thought process behind that? Like, did you want like did it start out as something different, or is that like something you had in your mind
So
from the start?
pretty predictably, in descending order, what I asked when I got a character was, can I be Jiro? And they said no. And then I said, can I be Jiro with different keywords? And then they said no. And then I said, all right. And then I brainstormed and thought about like 5 different character effects that were not, or sorry, I guess 4 different character effects that were not the one that we landed on. And it was like, no, we can't do that one. That's too close to a character that's coming out. No, we can't do that one. It like would not be like actually good based on like stuff that's coming out. We can't do that one because we don't want you to be a character stacker. And then we can't do that one because see reason 3. And I was like, well, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I was brainstorming with some friends, and JJ actually was like, why don't you just like adapt like some broken card from like another game, or like try and be something crazy from like another game? He's like, what if you were like Necropotence? And I was like, what would that look like? And then we brainstormed together, and we were like, well, yeah, I guess like putting stuff in RFG and then getting it back at the end of the turn is like very good.
Yeah.
And, like, playing with like a resource that's like harder to interact with is also just like part of making it in general be like a long-standing card, right? Like I have I don't think I will ever be like truly bad.
Yeah.
The entirety of the time that I'm legal, even if like specific stuff rotates,
Correct.
or like gets hit. Just because I play with like keywords that are always going to be there, like EX and powerful, even if everything else that I can touch or function with goes away, EX, powerful, and stun will probably always be here.
Correct.
Or at least for the entirety of the duration that I'm legal.
Yeah.
So like I'll have something to do on everything, and at worst, I have respond ice gliding every attack. So like, can't be bad.
No, not
right?
at all. Yeah, like the one because a Storm of Blades goes, the momentum goes into the Necro zone, and then he goes, he fucking called it. So yeah, can you what is the Necro?
Yeah.
What is the Necropotence thing? I'm not a.
So Magic,
okay, it's Magic.
The Gathering has a card. Yeah, it's a Magic the Gathering card called Necropotence.
Okay.
It's three black pips. It's an enchantment. It says you don't draw cards anymore at like the start of your turn, but you can pay life in intervals of 1 to exile cards from the top of your deck, 1 per life that you pay.
Okay.
And then at the end of your turn, all of those cards go to your hand. So you know.
Yeah.
It has more words on it.
Yeah.
But the basic premise is. Cards from RFG at the end of your turn go to your hand.
Yeah, they come from the Mitchell zone.
You know,
that's where they come from.
It's true.
They go into the Mitchell zone and they come out. It's like a TV show. Yeah, it's super sick. And
exactly.
Then, because you made your character, was your character finalized before vertical maneuvering equipment came out, or did you get like a hint of something? It was. Oh my god.
So timeline wise, it was literally right after the Wish tournament, right? So
sure.
The next set that was coming out was I think Girl Power.
Girl Power, yeah.
So like we were in Girl Power preview season, and we did not know about AOT stuff yet.
Yeah.
And then I think right when we were like sending the effects to playtest, it was like, hey, here's AOT reveals, and then I saw VME, and I was like, that might be a problem.
Hey guys.
But they let it walk.
Yeah.
It is really obnoxious.
Yes,
I think like personally, I would love it if VME was like, I don't know, like maybe AOT in only. Or something
I
like
get that.
Or banned, because like you know, there's no reason.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to be running around with vertical maneuvering equipment.
I don't know.
I would fall.
I don't know, man. Seeing you swing from
face.
titans to titans and buildings to buildings is kind of like Batman-esque. That's kind of cool, right? So
it is fun. It is very fun to think about. But I think I think my character, like I said, will still be just good in general. I'll probably still be pretty good. Like on a scale of like 1 to 10, I'd probably still be like a 7 or an 8 with VME gone. But like right now, I think I might be a little too good with VME.
You still get Hacker to spend every turn, so you draw a card, get a card back. It's pretty good, you know. So
it's not bad, and it's also just like, you know, hit me if you dare. I'll get a momentum. From
exactly. And then it's like I see all these chaos cards coming out from AOT3. Flip, get a momentum. If you have a momentum when this attack resolves, get another one, draw a card. It's like, come on, man. I'm trying not to play Chaos Mitchell.
Right.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's the other thing
Yeah.
too, is it's like when timeline wise for these champ cards, if they come out and like they're overtuned, like not to like,
Yeah.
try and get out in front of anything or
Yeah.
whatever, but like when they come out and
Yeah.
if they're overtuned or like undertuned, it's
Yeah.
not like we know
Yeah.
everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah.
just have to go, hey man, I think it'd be cool if I did this, and they
Mhm.
have to go, you can't, and you go,
Why?
why? And they go, can't tell you, but it's too good, and you go, all right.
Yeah,
Or
then
like vice versa.
shucks, almost got him, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh
funny
well.
because looking
Yeah.
at older champ cards, they had the same issue, right? Like, they made their cards, a lot of the guys made their cards for, like, the time frame then, and they didn't know
Yeah.
what was coming out. Like, oh man, like, look at Nick. Nick's character is going to get diminishing returns as it's legal because of enhances disappearing off of attacks, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
it's just,
hmm
you just kind of just roll the dice, and you kind of rolled, whatever the best.
I rolled great.
You rolled great, yeah.
I rolled great in everything except for the good symbol not existing for like a year.
That's
But
true. There we go. Yeah.
theoretically that'll be back.
Theoretically, yeah. We want it
Yeah,
to be
but
back, So,
God willing.
so speaking of AOT, so AOT 3 preview season has started. Has anything caught your? I don't want to give away anything from your podcast that's coming out, but is anything that people know
Yeah.
about out now, like, has been revealed?
Uh,
Anything like any of the characters catch your eye?
Yeah, character wise, there's a lot of them that I'm like pretty interested in or think are like relatively like
Mhm.
fun or cool to build with, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think we talked about it in the podcast. Every single iteration of like Beast Titan or Zeke himself has
Mhm.
just been like a very unique and cool way to use backups.
Correct.
Insofar as like I don't love the backup mechanic that much.
Yeah.
But like Zeke is at least doing something interesting with them in all
Mhm.
three iterations of his character.
Yeah.
And like all of his cards are going to play into doing more stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that's very, very cool to see. Reiner, like the new one, is like a very fun deck building puzzle in general. And then like I was pretty excited about like trying to make some sort of like interesting singleton like Hanji deck because she gets like life as the main symbol and then like order as an attune symbol if she wants it, for like all the good wall counter payoffs
Yeah.
are order attuned already.
Mhm.
So like you can just be primary symbol life, play like the Momo cards that care about like you can be an 8-hander with 23
yeah.
health as long as you
That-
have a bunch of unique foundations
That's
in your
super
staging area or
cool.
whatever,
Yeah, that's very
which
neat.
is neat. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, she has great symbols for that. And then I've actually been fucking around with the air symbol a lot recently.
Okay.
And I also just like the chaos symbol in general.
Yeah.
So Falco's
Oh,
incredibly
yeah,
interesting,
that-
as well as
Yeah.
I'm sure all of his cards will be super helpful in a various amount of decks that I'm going to be building. So like,
Yeah.
and on top of that, the character himself is very fucking
the
cool. So there's just
characters-
a lot of like cool shit going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, there's some pretty wild stuff that because I tried doing I was making my character tier list last night. I had to record it like 3 times and scrapped it because I didn't like the way it came out. Problem of a content
Sure,
creator. But
We've done that
Yeah.
with the podcast. Episode 1.
but like Falco, man, like God, he flips. He's gonna 2-tap you into the ether. Like, that guy's nuts.
Scary card.
Yeah,
Falco's very scary.
He becomes super scary. Like it's either you debuild yourself down to like 2, 3, 4, and then try to get yourself back up during your turn while attacking, or you just gotta have resets on board. Like, it's just
Yeah.
it's just crazy. Like I know we
It's tough.
haven't seen everything, but like I'm really excited. Like, does this set feel? I don't know, because like Critical Role was a huge flavor win, and there were like some really good cards in it. But like,
Yeah.
it kind of lacked in that power level. Like, as to like we had AOT 1, AOT 2. I would say Critical Role was probably a little below those, and then like AOT 3 is back to where the rest of them are. But it seems like some of them are kind of pushed a little bit. Do you think we're in a power, not a little bit of a power climb right now with this set coming out of this Critical Role flavor win into a more powerful set?
I think I would say so, yeah. Like, Critical Role, like you were saying, has like a handful. A handful's like disingenuous. I'd say it has like a 10 or ish like pretty good cards that I will always put in like a bunch of different decks.
Yeah.
But then on like the whole, the set is just like good. And it's like a flavor win, etc. Right? But like AOT, if you look at it kind of as like a block of 3 sets, we said it in the podcast at some point, but I like every single AOT set more than the last one.
Yeah.
Because I hated AOT 1.
Yeah.
So like
I get
I
that.
hated AOT 1 a lot. AOT 2 was like pretty fine.
Yeah.
And then AOT3 I think is like pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've come around to it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that I want more AOT. I'm
Yeah.
happy that most of the cards say finale on them.
Correct.
Mostly because I don't care about the IP.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I
think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was a good. I think it was a good like progress. I would say
Sure.
like it is power level wise. It's probably better than crit roll for sure. And then in general, from a power level standpoint, I think like we are pretty on par with stuff like Jet Burn and Girl Power. I don't know if Girl Power. I guess in my head, Girl Power is also like 10 or 11 cards that are like really good, and then I can't remember the rest of. But like, it is just like it's a good set.
Yeah.
Or at least it looks like a good set so far. I'm excited for it in general. But I'm also quite excited to see like what's going on next as well.
Correct. Thanks, Stormblades, for that Prime sub. You're amazing. I love
nice.
you. Hell yeah. Yeah, I am looking forward to Street Fighter, like yourself, because I'm a huge fighting game fan. Always have been. It got me into the game. Darkstalkers back in the day got me into the game. Street Fighter, all that stuff, And then we got Turtles. I really do think Turtles is the. I know we say this about like every major IP, right? Like, oh, Attack on Titan's going to get all these players. Critical Role, all these players. I don't want to say it about Turtles, but I can't help myself. I want to say it about that because it's like it's Ninja Turtles. It's
right. It's
how can it not?
It's tough to.
How can it not?
Right. No, for sure.
Yeah.
It's tough to estimate with Turtles, right? Because it's like the MHA boom was gigantic, and that's because it was announced like, hey, we're doing a bunch of MHA sets. This is the MHA card game, right? But if people just give a shit about the Turtles, and that's what's getting them into the game, and they go, okay, this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles card game, but also there's a bunch of other IPs that I either don't care about or like, right? It's like, oh, are there going to be more Turtles cards? And the answer is maybe,
yeah,
at some point, probably not for at least a year, but maybe. So it's like, that might be discouraging to some people, but it will get like a non-zero amount of people. I just don't think we'll see the like insane boom that we got when we announced, hey, we're doing like 6 or 7 My Hero sets.
Exactly.
And everyone loves that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think we're really waiting for like an IP reveal or like multiple sets of an IP, because like I don't like spoilers. AOT was not it.
No.
AOT was not the IP that brought a lot of people in and kept them.
Correct.
Right? In fact, AOT was the IP that kind of got a lot of people out.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So like.
Yep.
We are looking for the next IP that's like, hey, this is this thing card game for like the next year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
Come play it.
Yeah.
And people will, right? Like it worked with MHA. It was a big enough IP and it was executed well enough, right? We just need something similar. But I'm excited to see like what's going on in the future. Like I'm a fan of aesthetics a lot more than anything in terms of like I haven't played a Guilty Gear game, but I think Strive looks
they're gorgeous,
insanely cool.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I'm very excited for the Guilty Gear set, even though I only know like 2 people and one of them is Soul Bad Guy because his name's funny.
Oh come on,
Actually, that's not true.
You know Bridget, right?
I know.
Like everyone knows who Bridget is. In Testament, you know who those.
Is she the one? Is she the one with the dolphin?
No, that's May, and then Bridget's the one with the yo-yos. She's the girl with the yo-yos.
I don't.
Oh come on!
Walk the Dog reprint confirmed.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. If it would be the set.
Funny.
They make it a rare. There you go.
Dude,
secondary
market. I'm saying
secondary market in shambles.
Yeah, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if they give me a reveal, please give me Donatello's Staff Strike. I'd love to reveal that one.
That'd be awesome, right?
I would love that because it would mean the good symbol's back too.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Storm Blaze said. Before we cut in real quick, Storm Blaze said in chat, I had this discussion with Josh at Nats whether we should be a 4 IP a year game or 1 main IP for a year or 2 at a time. He doesn't know which is correct. I don't think there is. I think it's hard. Because you don't want to alienate all your like say we have solo leveling like 3 sets planned and that's all we're getting next year, right? I'm not going to hate on it because I love the show's cool. It looks gorgeous. The IP is really neat, but a lot of the pull of the game is I can fight Mega Man versus Ryu. I can play Scorpion versus Faye. Or, that's the draw, right? The mechanics, IPs bring you in, the mechanics and the community keep you around, right? So that's basically what it is. And I don't like you said, the MHA boom was so huge because what we had MHA for like almost 3 years for the most part, right? I think
Yeah.
we had it for almost 3
Hmm.
years, and then we kind of mix in things, and like the MHA only people were kind of like, well, I don't want to play with these other non-MHA cards, but we did keep a lot of those people still playing because they loved the game so much, right? And
Yeah, for sure.
it's kind of a tough rope to walk, and that for both
Yeah.
for the community and for UVS games themselves, because they don't want to, they're in it to make money, and whatever will make
Right.
them the most, like if solo leveling for 3 years makes them millions of dollars, go for it. I don't care. Like
Yeah.
if we have
I
8 Godzilla
wanna.
sets, go for it. Whatever. You know.
Yeah, I wanna say like the way that you. I want to say the way that you should err towards is like giving something its like time in the sun for at least a while, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
we get to have like if like say we have like 4 or 5 sets max a year, right?
Yeah.
And like 3 of those sets are a mainline IP, and then we have side products that are like the challenger decks for like another IP or like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how like the business side of it works or like the
Yeah.
IP side of it, but like imagine we go like, hey, our next I don't even know, like insert IP that you're like, oh, dude, it would be sick if they had this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine like 2027 UniVersus like timeline is we have announced that we are doing 3 sets of this IP that you really like and other people might not.
Yeah.
But our challenger decks for that year, we're doing like 4 challenger deck products of like 4 different unique IPs and something along the lines of if they can do it, whichever one of these challenger decks or like whichever one of these
Oh.
IPs the community
Yeah.
or just people in general like the most,
Yep.
we start doing mainline sets of the next year. Because then
Yeah.
like I think Spotlight, as far as a format goes, is kind of a joke unless it's specifically MHA, just because there's not a
Yeah.
wide enough card pool.
Correct.
And I guess technically AOT, but that's because AOT 1 has like 300 fucking awful cards in it.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know if you want to like pitch this as like, yeah, man, we can do Spotlight. Like if the IP that brought you in is what you're here for, then
Mhm.
you can just play the Spotlight events or the Spotlight of that, and here's like enough support for that,
Yeah.
right? Like if they get like Don or something like that, or like Kagurabachi, or like a new anime that's coming out that like doesn't have itself attached to like Bandai game or like random other thing.
Yeah.
Like if we do, hey, we're doing this for 3 sets, and then during that year we release like a Mega Man product, a like Tomb Raider product,
Yeah.
a this, a that, then it's like, okay, well, this product sold really well and people liked it, so let's
Mhm.
work with the IP holder and do mainline sets of that.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, we do something similar, right? Like you can test the waters. You
Mhm.
don't have to like take a big swing on something and be
Yeah.
like, will this sell? You can just do what they did with Crit Roll and go, hey, here's Critical Role Challenger, and they sell out immediately.
Yeah.
And people are like, okay, well, I guess we should probably work with Critical Role.
Yeah, we should.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I
if
think
that shit's gonna sell like hotcakes, let's
Yeah.
keep putting money in our pockets.
I do
Yeah.
think that's kind of like gamma leaks aside, I do think that's what's happening with the challenger decks, because I don't know if any, because Godzilla's the first rumored set of next
Yeah.
year, so that's kind of
sense.
that's kind
Yeah.
of the thing. It's sold out as a challenger deck, so we're gonna have a Godzilla. I assume
Yeah,
Star Trek's
Hey,
like
I love that.
Star Trek may be on the board. Solo leveling's on the board. Come on, Street Fighter 6 is probably also on the board because,
I would love that.
Tekken. I wouldn't be surprised if a Tekken set's on the board. Whatever. I think that's a good thing. Like that's I think the idea behind the Challenger series is exactly that. Is that we're gonna see which one sells the best, and then we're gonna make sets of that so we can make a bunch of money. And
Yeah,
that's perfect. That's fine.
I'm super down for that.
Just don't put 4 out at once, like the Star Trek. It's just
Yes.
2 max. 2 max, please. Keep them
Yeah.
at 2.
Yeah.
Because that was wild.
Yeah. And also, I swear to fucking Christ, if you put a card like an Embarrassment of Duplers in a Challenger deck, again, I'm gonna scream. You can play as many copies of this as you want in any deck.
Yeah.
And also, there's only 4 in this deck,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
die.
I think
don't know.
I
Go
think
buy
it would
more.
I think it would have been cool if they would have had like an alt art redemption version of that you could like redeem for like
I would have loved that.
20.
Yeah.
If you want 20 copies, you could spend all your redemption points on 20 copies, right?
Yeah, or promo versions of it at like the local level.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. And I
It's
think
just the same thing we had rehashed,
Yeah.
where like back when people like Andrew were fighting the good fight and being like, hey, stop fucking printing hard to get mechanically unique promos,
yeah.
you fucks.
Yeah.
Stop printing hard to get cards that you need multiple copies of, you
Yeah.
fucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least make them more widely available.
Correct. Like like even if like I'm a big like even the alt art packs, like I get it. I get why they're in there. I get it. But just make them alt art redeemable or promos from at a local level. And I don't want to spend $35 on a starter product. I just don't. Like
Yeah,
just
I agree.
I'd rather just spend 20
I mean,
bucks, you know.
they are cool,
Mhm.
right? And like secondary market wise, it's I guess I'm not like a storefront, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I know some places will break down like the challenger decks or whatever, and they'll go, okay, you can just buy the brick for this,
Yeah.
and then I'll open the pack and sell these for whatever. So like that's probably
Correct.
just fine.
Yeah.
I think it might just be a symptom of like this is what's best for business on both
Oh
ends.
yeah.
So like that's
Yeah,
fine.
and that's
As
yeah.
long as it's not something where like if I don't have to buy more than two copies of a challenger deck to get a playset of something, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Yep.
It's the price of doing business.
Mhm.
But like,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Hey, just forget. Don't forget. As a content creator, you usually get one, so you only got to buy one.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I do have a vested
Yeah,
interest in at least keeping that the same.
yeah, exactly, right. All right, so I
Mhm.
guess we're about a half an hour into just bullshitting, so we're gonna get
Yeah.
into it.
Let's do
So
it up.
let's do it. So I'm gonna cool. I'll cut it right there. So we're here for this episode. This week's episode of Take 10. I'm a professional content creator. Can you tell? Yeah, I got Mitchell Cimino on. He is freshly off his Red Riot Games 1K victory, where he won a bunch of money, kicked a bunch of Canadian booty, showed them how good America is. Yes, and MGLA. Team lead. I would assume he's top 4 on the totem pole somewhere, right? It's I don't know. Just
I don't know shit about fuck. I'm just there.
hell yeah. That's what I say about Team Final Round. I'm just here to hang out, man. I don't know why you guys want me on here. I'm a washed up old vet, so I'm just here to hang out. So, nah, this is the episode now, Storm of Blades. We were just bullshitting for the most of it. But yeah,
Yeah, that's
anywho.
just my buddy. We were just talking.
Yeah, man. So Take 10 is when I get to have my friends on, and I get to ask them weird questions, and get them riff on it, and give them a platform. If they want a soapbox, they can soapbox. If they want to wax poetic, they can wax poetic. I don't care. I think that may be the same thing. I don't know. I'm not an English major. So if Jose's in chat, please tell me. But
Yeah.
anywho, so we're going to start with the icebreaker question. And what was the last thing you ate today?
This sandwich that I will be finishing later.
Hell yeah. What kind of sandwich is it?
Meatball marinara.
Oh my god, I haven't had a meatball sub in forever. That's the only thing I ever got at Subway.
It hits different.
Does it?
I don't get it off.
Yeah.
I don't get it often, but like
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
you're just like, man, I
Mm.
want just like too much food.
Yeah. I took Kim out for her birthday last week, and I got an Italian sausage sandwich with like
Hmm.
a bunch of mozzarella on it. I was like, oh my god, I can only have this like once a millennia because it's too,
Oh, for sure.
it's too much. It's too much.
It's too weighty.
Yeah.
It's one of those. There's like so many things like that where it's just like, this is the best thing ever when I'm having it,
Hmm.
and if you ask me if I want it again, I will say no for like 9 months. Like I gotta take like a fucking 3/4 of the year
Yeah.
break from this.
It's kind of like Malort. Yeah.
Ugh, hard disagree. You never want that.
So I know.
Sorry.
So side tangent. So from back in the Boar's Hat case event, I had Mitchell and the boys come to the house, and Lenoco was here. I really shouldn't say his name on this one and attach it to him, but we ended up with some Malort, which is a very very gross beer from Chicago. So now there's some left over because everyone left their alcohol at the house. So what I do now is we have on D&D days, you roll a crit 1, you crit fail, you take a shot of Malort.
Oh,
I was the only one to roll a 1 yesterday. Oh,
as if it wasn't bad enough, man.
yeah, I know.
Oh,
So
no.
I was the Malort victim yesterday. It was super bad. It was super bad. So
Oof.
yeah. So moving on to question number 1, because there also I don't know why I number these because I usually end up asking other questions in between. How'd you get into UVS? What got your interest in the game, and what kept you here?
So how I got into UniVersus was I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a while. Like I started playing card games in general in high school because I was bored and hanging out in the library at school, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, we're gonna go over here and play like Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. Have you ever played? Do you want to?" And I'm like, "Sure." I started learning how to do that. and going to like a local card shop. And I wound up meeting some friends of mine, Joseph Horth and Phil
Oh.
Birch, old head players from back in the day, and hung out with them more often. And they were already playing UFS at the time, and so being a kid who was like already playing card games, and my parents were already like down with me going to like locals or whatever, as long as I checked in, and like traveling to two events like once every so often, as long as I was like keeping up with school and stuff like that. They both also played like Force of Will and like other card games that weren't just Yu-Gi-Oh. So when I was like hanging out and like, card games are fun, and like trying everything or whatever, I would just get handed like random really easy decks, and whenever they were like, hey, you got a free weekend, we're gonna go to like Rockford, or we're gonna go to this PTC at like Eternal Games in Michigan or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, sure, if as long as it's not like too far of a drive, I'll go. And I would like every so often relearn the mechanics of the game and like come in and play like just the easiest decks, because I would play like once a year.
Oh, okay.
And it would be like my first PTC I think might have been Rockford. It was either Rockford or it was one at Eternal Games.
Okay.
I remember I was playing Schechter, because Phil didn't want to teach me about how to do anything other than throw mid attacks, and he told me not to block anything unless it was going to kill me. So like I just played Schechter, whose whole gimmick was just play mid attacks, right? So I did that, and then I played stuff like one free Dragon Flare a turn Natali.
Hell yeah!
At like at random events. So like I am like the avatar. I am an old head insofar as I was there playing the game. I was not good and didn't keep up. And it wasn't like my main game or even a side game. It was just a thing I did when I was wanting to hang out with Phil and Joe. But like I was just playing easy stuff for the longest. And then when MHA came out as like the main IP for the game, I was like, oh, that's like my favorite anime. I will play the shit out of this game because I already have friends who were like really good and on cardboard, and was like in the privileged position of like, similarly with when I started Yu-Gi-Oh and my friends were like crazy good at Yu-Gi-Oh, I got to just like get the guide rails to become better immediately by just like getting the shit beat out of me by people who are really good. So like started playing MHA for that. What's kept me around is, like I said, in our like little preamble before we were like actually going into the video, I think mechanically speaking, this is the best card game of all time. At its core, like obviously there are formats and there are cards that are like so and like whatever. And you can feel however you want about like specific mechanics or this, that, or the other thing, but like at its core, the way that the game plays out is the best of any card game that I've played, and I've played functionally every card game that's come out in the last like 10 years. And then what was it? It was what got me into it.
What kept you here?
The most, and then what kept me here?
Other than the mechanics, other than the mechanics, obviously. So
other than the mechanics is like the IPs, the people. Like I'm close friends with people who are really good at the game, and playing a game and learning it and like playing well and learning how to play well is incredibly rewarding and fulfilling. So like I stayed for that.
I do like to encourage people who play the game, stick with it, because like you said, you're gonna get your ass beat for a while before you start winning things. Like local level is a different story because there's always a bigger fish, small fish, big pond type thing or whatever. But like when you go to like big events like a nationals or regional and you do well, there is a feel good about it because it's super hard to win a game in our game. It's super difficult.
For sure.
Because the other player sitting across the table doesn't suck either, right? Like we're all good at it. Playing at a competitive level like a regionals, a nationals, a world. Like when I went to worlds, I was like that dude that felt like, wow, there's like, cool, I'm that guy, like, hey, yeah, I'm here, like that, I see Tim, I know Tam, like me and Tam had one of the greatest games I've ever played in the game, period, in like round 2 or 3 of the Swiss rounds and worlds. It's super cool that even like, sure, we're competitors at the game, but we're all like really good friends and we just want to hang out. And like that's why I like having people at the house when we have case events, because it's one of my favorite things is have the boys in for the weekend and just chill out and just see how people are doing and catch up.
Sure. It's a great time, and like any hobby, card games just in general, like insofar as like this one is my favorite and like the best, yada yada. But like card games in general and any type of like hobby that you have are just a vehicle to like see and hang out with friends.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Like half the time that's just a matter of like if you're like a young adult or an adult, you'll find eventually like you are having trouble like getting together with people without like a specific activity that brings you all there that you were either like there for anyways,
Correct.
or like going to do regardless. So like having like a regional to travel to, that's like an excuse for like a weekend vacation in a world where like you might not be able to take like a week off on PTO, but you can probably get 2 days.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's just a fun thing to do with people. Something to like unwind. Like you have resources like TTS and like webcam or whatever.
Correct.
If you want to just play games with people that you can't like drive out, you don't want to like waste gas or whatever. But yeah, it's just a good vehicle to hang out with your friends and to play a fun game.
It's when you bring up that about like traveling to like for a mini vacation, it reminds me of like when we go to regionals and nationals and stuff. It's so intense. Like it's not like it's intense in a bad way. It's like emotionally, like like I don't know if it's physically intense, but like we're put through like 9 rounds of Swiss and all that. So it could be, it's like
Yeah.
it's really not like it brings people like they say hardship brings people closer together. So like something like that, like we're all together like for so long in a weekend. Like how can we not be friends and like
Oh
really
yeah, for
enjoy each other's
sure. It
company?
builds.
So
Yeah, it builds like inside jokes and stories and like
yeah,
self-referential things.
yep.
Like, oh, do you remember that one time at this PTC where I stole this like festive holiday gourd off the
That
table?
comes up every time you're in
Uh,
town.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course
yeah,
it does.
yeah,
And like,
yeah.
oh, do you remember this time when Colby led me down a fucking dark alley and almost got us killed because we were trying to find Waffle
Oh
House
my
in
gosh.
walking
Oh
distance
no.
because we were in the middle of a fucking food desert at like Texas Nats or something like
Oh
that, right?
no, that's crazy.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just it's cool life experience to
yeah,
have with people
yeah.
and the excuse that gets you there is the card games,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. All right. So we've kind of let this one out of the bag, but number 2, your favorite symbol in the game.
My favorite symbol in the game is the good symbol. Very, very like early on into my like career and play experience, it was like a fun idea in my head that Phil's favorite symbol was the evil symbol,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be like his foil and like protege, and my favorite symbol was the good symbol.
Yeah.
And that helped very like early on insofar as like my favorite deck probably in the game period from MHA forward was good symbol staff strike Jiro,
Sure.
right? So
Yeah.
like I played Jiro on the good symbol a lot, right? That was like my namesake. That was what I was known for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just in general in like early MHA, good was fucking eating. Good
Oh
got
yes.
all of the best cards.
Oh correct.
Back when like back when punch was a keyword that mattered, good
Yes.
punches were crazy.
Yep.
Good had like it can't be fixed and like all the other like best spam in the game,
Mm-hmm.
like every single card that says, "Hey, don't touch my fucking stuff."
Yeah,
Um,
that's correct. Yes. Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, like oh man, it's like 'cause I played All Might 3 off of good, so I know exactly what you're talking
hmm
about. Like that was,
yeah,
oh yeah, that was a time.
that's the stuff.
That was back in the
That's the
day.
stuff,
Oh
baby.
man.
Back when we could just be 8-handers with 30
Uh
health.
huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And just put free
Didn't need
stats
much
on
else.
stuff. Oh yeah, it was great. It
Yes,
was
sir.
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, oh my gosh, I hope and pray. Number 3, Marvel or DC, and why?
So this one is gonna be like the closest tie ever of all time
Yeah.
to break.
Yeah.
I really like DC because I like DC deck builder,
Yeah.
and I watched like the Teen Titans like original cartoon
Yeah.
growing up. I really liked a lot, and I've watched like most of Young Justice as well. So I'm a
Mhm.
big fan of like DC stuff. I'm not like super entrenched with comics like period, but like I've
Yeah.
seen up to about like I think after Endgame I watched like maybe one or two of like the Marvel TV shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
Not like everything though. It was like Moon Knight and like Loki
Mhm.
maybe like seasons one of each of those. But I'm not like super entrenched post like Endgame shit with like Marvel stuff.
Mm.
And I don't know the comics for either. The tiebreaker here is going to be like I really do like DC Deck Builder because it's a fun game, but IP wise, I like listening to Andrew tell me about Marvel stuff more.
Mm.
And I think like all the
Mhm.
stuff that's going on with mutants and Marvel
Yeah.
is like very very interesting and cool and
Yeah.
like funny and stupid.
Yeah.
I like the things that are like funny and stupid, but also like not too goofy and dumb.
Sure.
That's not like a great way to put it.
No,
but, like,
but I
don't
understand.
know.
As a comic book guy, I
I
can
think
understand. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's funny and cool when I hear about, yeah, you know that guy Darwin from the X-Men First Class movie? When he fought Hulk one time, his body adapted by fucking removing him from that part of the planet
Yeah.
because he can't win.
Yeah.
Like his body
Yep.
his body just adapts to keep him alive, and
Correct.
the best way to do that was to teleport to the other side of the globe because you don't win that, man. Like
That's
that
facts.
shit's funny as
Yep.
fuck.
Yes, it
And like
is.
finding out about like yeah, like the mutants have this whole island, and like there's only three rules, and also an extra secret rule, which is fuck Sabretooth. Like,
Yep. Yeah. There's a fourth hidden
yeah,
rule. That is correct. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
and it's
funny.
just like I don't know, that shit's fun to hear about. I like
Hmm.
that stuff.
Yeah. Like
It's
what?
the closest thing to like anime powers you get in comic
Oh,
books.
sure.
Is just like
Sure.
whatever mutants do, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yep.
yeah, it's an ass pull. It's like yeah, being able to and he if you ever see that picture where it's like a big random like stack of block towers and then like this random part of the block tower is held up by like a toothpick,
Yeah.
and it's like the entirety of like the Marvel like lore and random mutant shit, and then
Yep.
this toothpick is something some dude in 1972 wrote in a comic, and it's like
Yeah. If
it's like
it's ready to
yeah
fall.
when
Yeah.
everyone yeah when everyone takes their new stab at like a run of like X-Men comics or whatever,
Hmm.
and this is just like a bad verbatim from Andrew.
Hmm.
I'm like botching this quote, I'm sure, but he was like, yeah, whenever someone takes like a new run at like mutant comics or whatever in general, they go, hey, do you remember when you said this throwaway line in like 1970 that like Gambit controls friction, period?
Yeah.
That means this actually, and now he's like the sun or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's kind of fucking tight. It's like
Yeah.
JoJo-esque powers where it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is this way, but only at this time and because of these things. And it's like
Correct.
that's kind
Yeah.
of funny.
Yeah.
I can dig that. I can get with that.
Yeah, one of my favorite Andrew memories is at it was the second Worlds we had, so second Pro Hero Worlds, and him
Mhm.
and I think it was Bromley and two other people were playing Commander, and I don't know anything about Magic, right? Like I know nothing. So and
Sure.
he was telling me the lore behind his Commander deck about how it's like the different forms of government in
Oh, dude, yeah, the Niv Mizzet deck.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the different forms. He has cards from every government because it tells a story, and that's the way he wants to play the game. And he told me
Yes.
all this lore, and I'm just like, dude, I'm not gonna remember any of this, but I love the storytelling that he's telling me right now because I'm in
I
it, right?
agree.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. That's dude, I totally fuck with that because
yeah,
it's like that's my favorite shit, and that's like harkening back to what we were talking about when we were just yapping before the video.
yeah,
I love letting people tell me about shit that they think is cool.
hmm,
Like I love that, especially when it's my boys, where it's like, if your favorite shit in the world is Kingdom Hearts lore, tell me all about it.
yeah,
I'm not gonna retain all of the information, but I will, like I just did with like the Darwin factoid and like the factoid about like I think it's Krakoa or something
yeah.
like
It's
that. Is
Krakoa,
the
yeah,
like
exactly, yeah,
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 like I don't remember everything, but the shit that I fucking latch onto and think is cool, I'm
yeah.
gonna be like, yo, my buddy told me about this shit. That shit was fucking cool.
Hell yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love that. Like my friend is really excited about his Byakuya deck because of this, or like
mhm,
whatever. Like
mhm.
I'm super in on that stuff.
All right. So question 4, probably we already know the answer to, but
Mhm.
favorite IP in the game.
Yeah, it's my hero.
Yeah.
It's what got me. Yeah, it's what got me back into the game. What's kept me here
Mhm.
for the most part. Um, I really liked it. My hero proper I think came out when I was like a sophomore in high school. I want to
Okay.
say. 'Cause I graduated 2017, and I think
Oh,
MHA was
yeah.
like animated in like 2015 or
Something
started
like
being
that,
animated in
yeah.
2015 ish, something like
Uh,
that. Uh, so I was like, again, like I said, I didn't
yeah.
read comics, so I was
Yeah.
like, wow, superhero high school, that's never been done before.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's like that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I really liked the IP a lot. I have I won't pan the camera over, but I have like a bunch of My Hero like wall scrolls and like,
Hell
figures and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been my favorite anime for a minute here,
Mhm.
and I'm just a big fan of the IP in general, and it got attached to a card game that I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Are you excited about the finale that's coming out this? I think it's this fall, right? I think the ending of it's this
I
fall.
am. Yeah, I read ahead.
Okay.
I've been caught up. I was weekly reading it for the longest.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited to see everything get animated.
Yeah.
I'm a really big fan of Vigilantes as well. That just started airing. It's the sides or spin-off series rather. It's
Okay.
like a prequel. Um, I actually I have a really bad habit of getting almost all the way through stuff and then going like on a trip or like leaving or like stopping doing the thing for a couple days and then just like not picking it back up.
Okay.
So like I am probably 75% done with reading Vigilantes.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I have been for like 4 years.
Mm,
And I just haven't read it, and I haven't read the last 25% for no reason.
okay.
So I'm just gonna wait because it'll
Yeah.
be animated.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. But it was really good too. I really
Okay.
like everything in the MHA universe. I think it does a really good job of like giving you a lot of crumbs to world build with yourself. Or
Okay.
if you like read all the like supplemental material, like team up missions and like all this other stuff, you can get like a much bigger like world view on
Okay.
the My Hero like story.
Like, cause like most of my non-core MHA lore has come from Reddit, and like,
Yeah,
so like
as
there
you do.
there was this one Reddit post about Midnight and how she's like this.
Uh-huh.
She's the most randomest freak ever. Like she says the most
Sure.
off the wall shit about kids, and it's
Yeah.
just like, come on,
Yeah, she's
man.
a freak bitch.
Yeah, she's weird, man. It's just crazy. It
Yeah,
just
she is kind of weird.
and
Yeah.
like I don't know, like I know like Rappa had like a hero arc at some point, and then he decided to not.
So
You know, I have a feeling I kind
it
of know.
was
Is he the dude in the beginning of the like is he the punchy dude? Like
so
is he the knuckle duster guy or
spoilers.
what? Like you know.
No, he's not Knuckle
Oh,
Duster.
okay.
So spoilers, like Rappo and Mirko will show up in
And
I guess
yeah, it's
spoilers.
been out for five
Rappa
years, man. It's all good, dude. Spoilers are good.
this is spoilers for Vigilantes, which
Oh,
is being animated right now,
okay. I
which is
mean, like,
technically a prequel, which has also
yeah,
been out for 5 years.
okay, yeah.
Yada
So
yada.
it's fine.
Uh,
Spoilers. People watch at their own risk, man. So it's all good. So yeah.
Yeah, it's Rappa and Mirko are like they both fight in the same like underground fighting ring
Oh,
in
that's
Vigilantes.
sick. Okay, cool.
Because they're just and like you see it in the anime too. Rappa's just like a fighting freak. He just
Yeah.
likes hitting people. So like he used to be doing it like less illegally, where like he's still doing an underground fighting ring, but like
Yeah.
it's not the mob, and
Yeah.
he's not like awful.
Mhm.
So he's just like you see him and Mirko fight in the underground fighting ring, if I recall correctly,
Oh,
in
that's cool.
Vigilantes.
That's got to be good. That's got to be cool.
Yeah, Vigilantes is really cool for like you see I think it's like maybe 5 to 10 years before MHA proper starts.
Okay.
So like all of the people you would see in MHA, you just see like slightly younger in
Younger versions.
Vigilantes.
So
Yeah, like,
Eraserhead isn't
the
it?
most heartbreaking.
What?
Yeah, I said the most heartbreaking one is you see Tensei Ida in Genium, Ida's
Oh.
older brother who gets paralyzed in MHA. You see him
Yeah.
up and about as like a really cool and nice pro hero doing all this shit
Oh
in Vigilantes, and you're
no.
like,
That's
damn,
crazy.
he's paralyzed now. That sucks.
That
Um,
sucks. Oh wow. That's
yeah,
pretty
and you get
rough.
to see you get to see Stain before he's Stain,
Okay. All right.
which is also cool.
That's neat. All right. Question 5. What's your favorite mechanic in the game and why?
Uh, I want to say my favorite mechanic in the game is like we don't see it anymore, but it's which is sad. But I mentioned it's combo. I just like
Yeah.
I like the idea of a lot of a lot of what like separates or like helps you get on that jump from like being a newer player to like starting to get it and having it click is identifying like role assessment.
Mm.
And role assessment is a lot of like, am I allowed to like poke here? Am I the aggressor in this matchup? Like, what am I trying to do?
Mhm.
And the teaching tool that was like pretty helpful for me and what like got me my first like premier event top in this game was just playing a combo deck. 'Cause it's pretty straightforward, right? It's like you will do this thing, and it tells you how to set it up,
Mhm.
right? So like if you want to play this staff strike for profit, you have to put a weapon and then a weapon or a weapon and a foundation here,
Mhm.
and then you play staff strike,
Correct.
right? So it's like on paper, that's how simple it is.
Mm.
But the guiding tools and like all the other pieces that come together to have you go, hey, if you want your combo, which you already know how to do and know how to set up to work, you have to also put like these things in or be aware of like what your opponent can do with this, that, and the other thing.
Mm.
And I just like it's you can get a lot of analysis paralysis in this game just by virtue of there being so many cards and like especially with attuned moving forward, there's just
Yeah.
like truly so many things you can put into any deck regardless of your primary symbol
Mhm.
that like going, hey man, here's the bumpers, here's the guide rails, you're gonna do this, and you just got to figure out how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I like that a lot, and on top of that, like by virtue of it having stringent or strict requirements, a lot of combo abilities are powerful and fun to use, right?
Mm. Mhm.
Like Staff Strike's incredibly fun to use. Double Jab Pummel, also really
Oh yeah,
fucking
hell
strong.
yeah,
And that
yeah.
one, yeah. And like even back in what was it? I can't remember like back in UFS like retro era, I
Yeah.
guess not like really retro because we were there when it was
Yeah.
happening, but like all of the watching like J Ray play 52 attack mature and just like
Oh,
comboing slams with slams
yeah.
because it's like,
Yep.
hey, we are playing this deck without foundations,
Yep.
and the only way that we get to do that is by leveraging like combo abilities that hack our checks or doing
Correct.
this, that, or the other thing. And
Yeah.
what's the requirement for that? Slamming a bunch of shit in the card pool that has the same words on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got guide rails for the start of the deck building process, and
Yeah.
then like finishing the deck building process is what separates like a top cut performance from not, right?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of cool with the game. Like you have this baseline of a deck where I'm gonna throw all the weapon cards together and see what the fuck happens,
Yeah,
right? And then, but like what you said, between the top cutters and the non-top cutters, is that person put in hours of work tuning it. You know, not tuning it, but tuning it,
yeah,
and
yeah. They did that in the
you
design
did the
phase.
design
Yeah,
process. So yeah, like you just tune it and play it, and you get your matchups down, and you're like, well, if I just do this 100% of the time, I'm going to win X amount of times, and if someone does this, I have to do this. And you like when I watch you play, and I can hear you go through all of the permutations of like, well, if I do this and this, and but you have this, but I can still do this, and like it's like then you're like, well, I think I have you, and you just play it, and it's like the guy doesn't have it, right? Like it's like you put
yeah,
them
yeah,
on to have the one thing, and if they don't have the one thing, you win, right?
yeah, for sure. The parlance that we always use is like, is this true? Where it's like there is no way to not die here.
Yeah.
And like going through that and like being like, okay, this should be true. It's a Calvin Tahanism. He's
Okay.
very memeable, uh, or at least that's where I first heard it.
Yeah.
And then the other parlance for it is like putting them on better habit. It's like a
Yeah.
very like Yu-Gi-Oh slash other card game slash any type of like risk versus risk averse
Sure.
and risk assessment type thing where you go like, well, especially in like an open decklist format moving forward
Mm.
now, where it's like, well, you play 2 copies of Genkais, you checked one of them. Uh, I can, as early as turn 2 or 3, put you in a spot where you must Genkais this attack or you lose. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to put you on better habit.
Yeah.
And the percentage amount of the time that you don't have it, I win immediately. And
Mm.
then you do, I go, well, I
Yep.
played to my out.
Yep.
Or like I didn't put myself in the worst spot because I knew that was something that could happen.
Correct.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, the other part of like the deck building thing that like like this game is like so vast as far as like what you can and cannot do in it. But like I'm learning things even as recently as like this past week, or like I'm developing skills as recently as like this past week, or like this format forward, where like something I've been trying to work on is not like over siding or like under
Oh,
siding.
sure.
Where like I don't love four ofs and stuff unless it's like deck building constraint. Like you should just always play four of this because it's good to see at every point in time in the game.
Mm.
Where like in my most recent deck that I played, the Air Deku deck, convenient timing I think is a really really good card right now. And I have 4 of it between my main and side. I don't think I've ever like put 4 of it in, and I think that was a mistake. Where like I don't think I should have played 4 of it. I think 3 max would have been great,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the idea of like main board 2, side 1 extra for those specific matchups.
Yeah.
But I had 2 in my sideboard, and that could have just been like a better card in that slot, right? So it's like
Yeah.
a skill I'm still developing.
Okay.
Insofar as this far along in my career,
Yeah.
even with like as accomplished as I am,
Yeah.
it's like you can still always just get better.
Correct.
There's like so much shit to like do in this game.
Mm-hmm. Convenient timing's the Kirigiri 2 card, right? That gives it's like Perma
Yep.
Breaker 1 or whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like calling it Blood, Sweat, and Barks because it's non-alcoholic.
Ah,
beer,
yeah, there
and
you
it's
go.
Not quite as good as not quite as good as Blood, Sweat, and Beers.
Yeah, but it's
The onboard effect is also pretty good, especially if you're playing like against Devil Jin or like Hawks.
oh
or
yeah,
someone
because
who
it
cares
shoves the
about
card to
specific
the
shit in their discard.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it puts it directly on the bottom, so you
yeah.
can go like, if I get to play my attack first and I'm playing into Devil Jin, I go, okay, before you can put something in that stops my character or all of my effects, I will use convenient timing as my first enhance. Put your fucking
Arrow Goblin Bolt.
your Goblin Bolt on the bottom. Yeah.
Get wrecked,
And
kids.
then they go, ah, dang it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
That's something too that I'm kind of like I've been working on a lot is actually sideboarding at locals because I don't know, I feel like sideboarding at locals is a little tryhardy, but I also think that it's a
Yeah,
skill that you should develop, and that's probably the best
Mhm.
place to develop it because you
For
don't want
sure.
to be doing that in the middle of a regional, right? Like you want to be able to,
Right.
like sure you can be like, oh, I know I can put this card in because it's always going to be good or whatever, like a card like Dark Ward. Like I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 2 in side 2. I probably should just be playing 3 maximum, and I should just be playing 3
Right.
in my main anyways because that card's crazy. But like, it's
Mhm.
something that I'm learning to do because I don't want to like make my local super sweaty than it already is because we have a league and all that stuff. But it's like I think it's a skill
Sure,
that everyone
sure.
should develop is sideboarding properly, like you said yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was very much like a holdover from Yu-Gi-Oh! And a lot of like what higher level play in Yu-Gi-Oh! is people like recognizing side patterns and like
Hmm.
building their decks and sideboards in conjunction with like, okay, I have this deck or I have this card as a 3 of in my main board and I have this card as a 3 of in my sideboard. These are like a direct swap in these specific matchups and I know beforehand,
Hmm.
like a flow chart or like a spreadsheet-ish
Yeah.
type thing. But in this game for me, I'm kind of the opposite of you. Where at locals, I just sideboard vibes based. Where
Okay.
like if my opponent brings a deck and they're just like, I'm trying this week, I don't have a sideboard built. I go
Yeah.
sick, and then I don't
Oh
sideboard.
yeah, I don't do that
That's
either. That's
that's
for
where I'm
sure.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then like even if they sideboard, if I'm just like I don't really feel like it.
Yeah.
Depends on like what I'm up to, like what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
side patterns in this game are like kind of hard to establish because the like it's weird a lot of the times what we like as like super competitive players or people who like grind a bunch
Hmm.
think the meta is supposed to be
Yeah.
never really is because people
Hmm.
just kind of play what they like.
Correct.
um so it's hard to have like this is the established set in stone, I am bringing in these cards in this matchup, whatever. Because if I like even playing against like a deck like Hanji or whatever, it's like they can be doing like 2 or 3 different things. So
Mm.
like I can't say I'm always bringing this card in against Hanji because sometimes that's
Yeah.
not the same type of Hanji. So it's just like you bring cards that are for specific types of decks, right?
Hmm.
Like I have like the holy trinity of fuck you blocks on air
Yeah.
with like airy smiles, goblin bolt, and convenient timing,
Yeah.
and I am excited to see them in descending order against like whatever matchups, and I
Yeah.
bring in my third copy of whatever depending on the matchup.
Sure.
But it's never like, oh, I know definitively this is coming in for sure all
Yeah.
of these games post board. But
Hmm. Yeah, Stormer Blade says, I do everything on vibes. Should I play this attack? Ah, fuck it. Send it. So,
yeah, fuck it, chuck
yeah,
it. Aggro
yeah,
is
yep,
is good. It
yep.
works. It works when it works. If you roll fives, you take lives, etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
etc., etc. All the taglines our game has, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
question 6. Eventually, this question will probably end up getting swapped out, just because it's kind of like it's a throwaway, but it's just an
Sure.
easy content question. It's supposed to get the,
It's a
it's supposed to,
layup.
it's supposed to get the
Get the people
get the people
going. Yeah.
going because it's about the ban and errata list. Do you think the
Yeah.
monthly ban and errata list is doing its job?
I do think so as of late, right? Like it is uh coming from like other card games, it is incredibly cool to see the company taking feedback from the players and like from the player base as
Mm-hmm.
frequently as it does.
Mm-hmm.
It is also incredibly frustrating in that same span where you go like, okay, well clearly you're listening to what people are saying, so like how are these like mistakes happening still, or like why couldn't we have just like stopped this in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a little bit annoying where like none of the bans that have happened and none of the erratas that have happened have been people going, I can't believe they did that. It's always been
Yeah.
people going like, finally,
Yeah.
or like,
Yeah.
what the fuck were we waiting for, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But like it is cool and like helpful to have it be like, okay, well they're aware and like it's happening, right, with
Mm.
some more amount of frequency.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's also like I said in like the previous like question where like we have a somewhat warped perspective as far as like playtesting incredibly competitively, incredibly frequently
Mm-hmm.
on what we think is too good or should be banned. Like, I'll give you an example specifically is Nick Reagan, right? Um, I think that the character, like, there are ways to beat him.
Yeah.
There are ways that you can make your deck to beat him. The problem is, and the problem has been, and it's like similar to other bans that we've had in the past where he is format warping.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like kind of similar to Bert, where like he was the big bad going into the event. He is likely the best deck, quote unquote, at every event.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of enough people in the room are either not on him or playing something that has a better matchup into him because they are so heavily teched for it
Yeah.
that like it doesn't get all of the results that it needs to be for people to go, this is a gigantic
Oh,
problem,
sure.
or if it does, it doesn't get them all at once. Um, but I don't love decks where it's like, hey, you must have an answer to this. And also the rest of the format has like 4 or 5 different other decks that you must have answers for that are not like the same DNA as this deck.
Yeah.
So you're either spread incredibly thin on a sideboard or on a main deck, and you either like can't cover everything, or you just have like more than one matchup that your deck just goes, yeah, I just can't win that.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fine to go to an event with a deck that has a matchup that is fucking abysmal.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like the best deck in the format or like the
Yeah.
most represented shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Yeah.
the combo Deku deck, I've been like grinding the shit out of the matchup to get better at it, but it's not a great Godzilla matchup because you're trying your best to set up like everything on board, and then they go, get the fuck rid of it.
Yeah.
And then you go, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the monthly ban and errata list is doing its job. I just don't love formats where there's like one main deck that is warping deck building around it.
Yep.
And I think that's like currently where we're at, especially also with like, it's very. I also don't like I don't like it when it's like super duper swingy as far as matchups goes.
Yeah.
Where like Pony always feels like a pretty swingy matchup. Where like if you hold on long enough and if your tricks work, you survive and you win.
Yep.
But it's out of your hands
Correct.
whether that works or not.
Correct. Yes.
And kind of the same thing with like Devil Jin, where like if they don't check Aerial Goblin Bolt, their deck looks a lot worse.
Yes,
but
that's
also
facts.
if they see the foundation with Asui's face on it, and you don't have an answer in the first 2 turns, and they do draw attacks as a 5-hander, you just die.
Correct.
And it's like, well, you look at your hand of your deck, and it's like you're a 6-hander. You go, okay, well, here's 2 cards that I have to play because they like make my deck function. Here is 1 answer, and here is anything else. I will build what I'm supposed to build. Try my 1 answer, and if it doesn't work, I die. It's like, well.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yeah, like, because like when you bring up the fact of like you have one abysmal matchup, that's how I tend to look at my decks. Like if I can build something that's like 90% against the room, and at 10%, if I run into my one bad matchup, I'm just gonna lose. I guess would take that.
Yeah.
And like that's how I kind of took like Worlds at like that, because I just played Ymir, and I'm just like, well,
sure,
it's a comfy deck. I love it. If I run into my worst matchup, which I thought Godzilla was my worst matchup at the time because I only got 23 health and he kills me in 3 moves, and he wants to nuke the board, So, but like I beat every Godzilla I faced, and I was just like, okay, well that's cool. I guess I was completely wrong, And sometimes you're wrong about like that. Maybe you play that one random card that no one else plays that helps you in that matchup, or maybe there's just some bad RNG off the top of your rival's deck. So sometimes it doesn't even matter what, and then it doesn't even matter like what your thought process is. You could face your worst matchup and they just draw like dead, and you just roll them.
Yeah, oh for sure. That's like that's the variance part of it, right? And like the other thing too is a lot of what I've noticed is like because like time keeps moving, right? Like formats change, new cards come out, etc. Like you don't have infinite time to grind like matchups in the format, and like your prep can't always be let me play like 10 games of my worst matchup to try and see if there's like a play pattern thing I can adjust and make it better. Like that is a good thing to do if you have the time and resources to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But if you don't, that's the thing that'll kill you in the tournament, and that's like what part of the bad matchup is. Like maybe the combo Deku into Godzilla matchup isn't like as abysmal as I like think it is, but I've only like recently as like that like Canadian tournament and like in practice games like today even been like maybe I just have to adjust my play pattern, but that's not something you can do in a tournament.
Correct.
So like
yeah.
Or if you can, you're a savant, right? Like if you play a game 1 against your worst matchup and you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
And then you perfect them the next 2 games, it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you're a fucking learning computer. You're a neural net processor, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's yeah, I guess wrapping back around to the question. I think as long as the Forbidden and Limited list is doing its job in like my limited purview of going, hey, we're curbing the decks that are format warping, and we're like making the game not uninteractable and swingy. That's fine by me.
Yep. Cool. So we know what your favorite IP is by the earlier question. So question 7: if you could have any one IP brought into the game, what would it be?
I I tried to think about these questions before I came on, and this one I like still just could not find like a great answer for.
That's why I send them
Like
to you guys early, so you guys can think
it's
of this
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
and I still failed.
It's okay. No worries, man. It's all good.
It's
It's tough sometimes when your
because
favorite
it's
IP is already in the game, right? So.
right, exactly. Like the IP that I would want for specifically a card game is already in the game,
Yeah.
right? So like
Facts. Yeah.
it's it's tough because the other thing too is when you answer a question like this, you want to have it be like your pet thing or like your
Yeah.
favorite or like it'll just click and be like, oh dude, this, and then someone
Yeah.
else goes, yo, that would be
Yeah.
sick. Like
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Like even like it doesn't even matter if it's like that actual answer. You just want to have an answer for this question where you go like, yeah, someone's gonna fucking love that I
Yeah.
said this.
It's for sure. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just like I just don't,
Yeah.
right? Like I think
It's all
I
good.
guess honestly like vigilantes,
Yeah.
I guess would be
Okay.
kind
I'm
of
down.
cool.
I mean, like you can't
Like
even say
we got the free
you can't even say yourself because you're already in the game. So it's like you can't even say
yeah, right?
yourself,
Like
man. You know, it's like
yeah,
it's
I
super
think it would be
hard for
like
you.
vigilantes. Yeah, vigilantes or like gosh, like I think Invincible would be kind of
Oh
cool
yeah, I'd be
also.
down for that. You know, like you know.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Wub would love that.
Mhm.
Ryan would love if we'd had like more Mega Man in the
Oh
game.
yeah, I know a lot of people who
There was
want.
like
Yeah,
a
there's a shit ton of stuff people like Mega Man. I want Darkstalk. Like Capcom in general, like has a
yeah,
huge pull, right? Like just give us a Capcom All Star set and like we get all the greatest hits. You know, like that would be
that would be
sick.
kind of tight.
That would
Yeah,
be sick. You know, even like a Marvel versus
yeah.
Capcom set. I know we can't get Marvel because Disney wants $1 million, but we can get a Capcom
Mhm.
All Star set, and we can, you know, we can get it. We can get everything we
Yeah.
want, and that would be sick. I don't know.
Like I was like I was saying, the aesthetics of stuff, like even if I don't know the IP
Hmm.
super well, like I don't know Darkstalkers super well, but I
Yeah.
really, really like Hasenko.
Yeah.
I like Jiangxi's as like an archetypal thing. I
Hmm.
think they're very cool, mythological creatures. I like how what's his face? I like Lord Raptor. I think
Oh
he's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I like Dimitri. I'm pretty sure he's from Darkstalkers.
Yes. Yep.
He's really fucking annoying to play against in retro. Pretty sure that character got banned
Yeah.
at some
Yep.
point.
You can thank Mark for that
Uh,
one. You can thank Slam for that. Yep. But yeah. Yep.
Good work,
Thanks,
Mark.
buddy.
Jeddah, I think, is also cool
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, I think that it's a very cool like IP
Hmm.
aesthetically, right? So like that's kind of really all it takes for me.
Yeah.
Is like, does this shit look cool?
Yep. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Yep.
I'll learn about it at least.
Yeah. That's what because what I played it in the arcade game in the arcade. I played Darkstalker, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Like I used to go to the local
Mhm.
arcade and play that shit. And then I found there was a card game with it. I was just like, yo, I'm
You're
in.
like, oh, we're so
I'm
down.
down.
Yeah.
Like, and then I found out like I found out about King of Fighters from this game, and King of Fighters is sick as hell. And it's just like,
Hell
oh
yeah.
yeah, man. It's just, I mean, the game was brought up on fighting games, and then we became Anime, the fighting card game. But it's like I'm down for everything, like which we
Yeah,
do.
for
We
sure.
have pretty much everything, you know. We just need.
Yeah, and now we have anime fighting game,
Yep.
Strive.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Strive.
look, there we
Correct.
go.
Yeah. And that's all we need is like
Yeah.
presidents and stuff. Give me Abe Lincoln. The guy has a reach of
Yeah, there we
has like
go.
of a tree trunk or something. I don't know, but wow.
Yeah, the fucking he has it's like the George Washington like cherry tree attack
Yeah,
or
there
something
you
like
go.
that. I'm down.
Wow, we went down the hole there. This one should be pretty good because I know you're a teams player and you like playing on teams. So, 8,
Hmm.
you get your choice of 2 players, can be current or retired, to pick for a teams event for a teams event. It could be for cardboard because I like saying it's for cardboard, so I'm gonna have to adjust it. It's gonna
Oh,
be
for
for
sure.
cardboard because team should have its own cardboard event. UVS games, just give it to us.
I agree.
Who are they and why?
Uh, yeah. So current player, I'm gonna go with Andrew Holder.
Hell yeah.
And retired player, I'm gonna go with Go Beyond Gaming.
Oh yeah, we
No.
love it. We love it.
un Unironically, I am good friends with Andrew. I really like hanging out with him. We
Yeah.
don't like have too many of the same like hobbies specifically anymore.
Yeah.
Since he's taken like a little bit more of a backseat
Yeah.
to UniVersus. Uh, to my knowledge, he's getting back into it a little bit,
Yeah.
which is exciting. But I like playing card games with Andrew. I don't think I've ever gotten to play on a team with him, so it
Hmm.
would definitely be Andrew. And then I would love to play with Phil in a teams event. He's the one who like brought me into the game. He's one of my
Yeah.
best friends.
Hell yeah.
I think that a team of me, Andrew, and Phil would be incredibly strong, and I would love to see whatever self-referential fucked up asset we could make.
That would be hilarious. Cause I've fought Phil in teams, because it was him and Wags. It was him, Wags,
Hmm.
and Ben and Shoemaker, and it was they're I don't know. It was some of the most fun games I've ever had against them, just because of like the chatter, and I think that's why I
Yeah.
love teams so much is because of the chatter and just
Oh,
being
the
able.
banter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it's
banter is
great.
some of my favorite stuff. Oh, I gotta get rid of this. Go away. Get away. Oh nope. Oh well, I had a bot hit me, so I don't know. I don't have a mod on right now. Corey, you on? Kill that guy.
You're good.
Kill that guy.
Yeah. Mods.
Mods, do your thing if they're
Yeah.
watching. I don't know. I don't know where the other guys are at, but whatever. Yeah, like I think. How do we do it? How do we make a teams event for cardboard? Like, 'cause I know like they're strapped for time and table space and people like just the whole um what is it, the whole like gamut of op. How do we fit this in if we want like a team? Do you have an idea or like a just
So
as a quick
the way you'd have to do it probably, if we're going with the structure of worlds is day one is functionally Nats and day two is worlds,
Mhm.
right? And there's no nationals. I think the way you would have to do it is your day one of worlds starts early enough that you have time for teams to start at like the end of that. And if you need to do teams top cuts, you can do it after Worlds the next day is
Mhm.
over or during, depending on like whenever. It might like have to run like asynchronously or whatever
Yeah.
if like someone on your team makes a deep enough run in singles Worlds, right?
Yeah.
But like I do think it should be something where you give it its own due time, where
Mhm.
you go like, okay, here is like Nats day one is like a 6 round thing,
Mhm.
or like a five to 6 round thing, depending on how many people we have like qualifying on points and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then okay, we're gonna take like a brief break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna play like 3 rounds of teams, and then we're gonna the next day we'll play like either the last round of teams and then teams top cut. Like even if you have to cut it to like we're playing Swiss and we're not doing like top cut of teams, we're
Yeah.
doing cut to finals match is
Yeah.
this team versus this team.
Correct.
Like if you have to do that, I do think
Yeah.
it should be like the teams format is like cool. I
Yeah.
like teams a lot. I think it's very fun.
Mhm.
It's also just a great way to like actually show off teams,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like
Yep.
it's cool. It's cool in so far as like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy from MGLA is doing well. This guy from Final Round is doing well. This
Yep.
guy from Let's Talk is doing well.
Yeah.
But it's another thing to be like, oh, team Let's Talk with like these 3 guys that are like representing the team.
Yeah.
They're doing well. They're in like second.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, these 3 guys from Final Round, these 3 guys from MGLA, like they're doing it. They're going the distance, right?
Mhm.
And like you could still like I also think it would just be fucking so cool to look at the like new assets that people would make,
Yeah.
especially
Yep.
where it's like Team MGLA and it's like not called Team MGLA, it's called like something
Yeah.
stupid that like the 3 people on that
Yeah.
team came up with.
Yeah.
That's like a fun reference to like that weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's got like
Exactly.
the team logo somewhere or like the team colors, and it's like all of your homies on a card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like my original card art for my champ card had like 6 other people in the
Yeah.
background of it that were just like my friends that like either helped me design the card,
Yeah.
helped me along the way, or have just been like the homies.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And due to like licensing stuff, it like wound up not being able to happen, right? So like my original card art is different, but I would love to be on a card with a bunch of my friends,
Mhm.
right?
Satona said 2019, wow, 2019 UK team asset is done or close, he said. So maybe question mark.
Holy.
I mean, I'm down for some
Yeah.
cool assets, because we just saw a really cool one on a preview today, which is like it blew my brains. It was crazy. It's basically Caliuga all
Is it
over
the-
again. It's crazy.
Yes. Yep, I saw that
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
it's-
that card, spoiler alert,
Yep.
goes infinite with
Yep.
what's it fucking called? Tasty Riff.
Yeah, you have to. It's like a huge loop. You have to go.
you have to have two. You
Yeah.
have to have 2 of them in your discard pile
Yep.
and 2 Tasty Riffs.
Yep.
But then any deck that can play that can infinite because you just go
Yep.
riff, build it,
Yep.
freeze, pick up the riff,
Yep.
riff, build a new one.
Yep.
Whee!
Yep. You just loop it over and over again. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Um.
It is.
yeah.
It is really good.
Yeah.
It's not like insane.
No,
Insane.
yeah.
It is just like, hey, this is a definitive win con for the fucking slowest, most dirtle deck
Correct.
you've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, inconvenient timing just shoves them down to the bottom of the deck. So I guess we're just playing that card.
That's true.
There we go. Getting the hot tech right now,
Convenient timing
everybody.
Stocks on the rise,
Yeah.
and then it rotates. No.
No.
League of Villains,
No.
no.
So number 9. What is your favorite deck right now?
My favorite deck right now specifically is the Air Deku deck
Mm-hmm.
that I took to the Canadian 1K. Like I said, I've always loved combo.
Mm-hmm.
And Deku just like he has a very specific niche right now in the format where like your turn one build going first is it's all gravy because you don't have to worry about your opponent hitting you before you flip onto the flash side if that's like your best side to be on in the matchup.
Yeah.
And then going second, you have the like unique position of I can block the decks that throw like a bunch of attacks at me in a row on 2 because I give -3 speed to everything.
Correct.
And if I can't and someone throws like a blowout haymaker at me that I cannot do any fucking thing about, if I have a vestige in my hand, my face to take only 1 damage from this fucking attack that true 100% is stapled onto. Right?
Yeah.
So like if all else fails, you have like an oh shit button and you also have like a really consistent way to do defense.
Yeah.
And like I was mentioning earlier, like the fucking triumvirate of get shit on nerd blocks on the air symbol are really good right now.
Yeah.
Where you have Airy Smiles, Convenient Timing, and Goblin Bolt.
Yeah.
Like against the Nick deck specifically, if you make it to your backside of your character, Nick plays any attack as a 5-hander that says the word draw a card or fix your check. You go, the fuck you did, commit your character, block it with a Goblin Bolt.
Then stare at him.
Yeah. Then he goes, okay, I'll play another attack that I hard opened in my 5-hander, and you go, great, you're not using Nick on that one either. And then they go, okay, I'll play another attack that I hard opened in my 5-hander. So 3 out of their 5 opening cards in their actual 5-hander at this point have to have been attacks.
Yeah.
And then they get to play the game.
Correct. Yeah.
So like
That's wild,
like that's really good there. Yeah, you can also like Airy Smiles, make them if they're using like a hacked check from Dignified Display.
Oh, yeah.
Your next hack check is being used on this foundation card, motherfucker. And like convenient timing against shit like Godzilla or Pony, where it's like Pony doesn't really give much of a shit about breaker or card pool clog, but she sure as shit does give it any amount of a fuck about something that she can't stop, which is minus to the checks for the turn.
Yep, that is true. Yep.
So it's wrenching back some of that like onus or some of that control from like the things that are outside of your control by just going, wait, I'm gonna do this first, then you can try and fuck me up.
Yeah.
Like
I like that type of like I like that type of play style. I like having those answers like defensively. Because Satonis is he knows it's Tim Keefe, I've sent him decks before, and he goes, well, how are you killing people? All this does is it's a bunch of 4-diff utility attacks. I usually have I just like playing stuff. I like playing the game, I like doing buttons, right? And I usually have trouble finding win cons sometimes, but like I like looking at defense first, which is really weird. It's like I don't know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna play aggro and I wanna attack. Attacking's fun. Like I think playing defense is fun. And being able to tell my rival no is awesome, you know?
I agree to an extent because like that is correct, that is right, but the thing that like supersedes that for me is like I said, that's part of why I like combo is like having a streamlined this is how you win, right? And even in Midoriya in combo Deku, like with Jiro, your character does so much of the heavy lifting on their face, right? Like it doesn't matter what fucking attacks that you play because you can form as many times as you want. Like you can kill someone with an aerial Goblin Bolt. It doesn't just have to be a block trick because you're putting floating 9/9 on it.
Yeah.
You go, okay, well I'll commit 6 foundations. Here's a Goblin Bolt. It's a 12 high 12. I'll seal your first answer, and then yeah, man, here's a 12 high 12.
Yeah, man.
So like you can just do that with anything. Like it's you do that with sweeping daggers, and then you play their best attack.
Oh my gosh,
like,
I forgot. Yeah, you can play sweeping daggers in that deck. Holy shit, that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
And I did with gusto. And then you also have the main like straightforward win con of okay, I took the onus away from you on your turn, and I'm doing it again on my turn where this is a phantom threat flash catch. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the tools, and like you would if you put any other character on top of this deck, and went okay, try to win, it's just fucking impossible because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But when you add in like I pass floating stats to things, I flash something, I give -3 speed. Like those are 3 insane abilities on like, one character that you'll just always have. You don't have to find.
Yeah.
That's like an insane resource to start from like the ground up of like how to like asking the question, how do we play defense? Like you said, if you want to start with defense, how do we play defense? Here's all the best defense cards that we can play on air. Okay, how do we kill people? see option 1, your fucking character.
Yeah, your character. Yeah, that's sick. So I'll link
Yeah.
I'll link the video in the description box below, so you all can go check it out. It's super super cool. I mean, just listening to Mitch talk about it makes me want to go build it and play it. And I
You should. I think
yeah.
you would have a lot of
Yeah.
fun with it.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I'll take advice from you. I love it. I've asked you many times about decks. I'm good. I'll do it. So, as we wind up into the end of the night, it's been a long one. Like I said, we're a little over an hour and a half. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm keeping you a little longer than normal.
No, you're good.
Uh,
I just like I said, I like yapping.
yeah, like yapping. I'm a yapper as well. So it was a storm of a brewing. So where can
A pleasure. A pleasure yapping.
pleasure yapping. So as we finish, where can people find you? Any shout outs?
Yeah, definitely. I've said in a couple of my like past videos, huge shout outs to the MGLA guys, more than just like a team. They're just like a bunch of my friends, like gotten a lot closer with them over the past like year. Great group of guys to play test with. Huge shout outs to obviously Phil Birch and the old Unfun Stuff crew, getting me into the game, getting me up to where I was, or am today rather. Gigantic shout outs to like the Gaming Giant crew. Mostly Ryan and the Alvins are who I interact with like more frequently, but obviously like Snuggy, Rob, Kevin, like all the guys
their locals
from
is insane.
Gaming Giant.
Like their locals
for
is
sure.
crazy.
I think Barlow also goes there, and I'm pretty sure Scott goes there too.
Oh my god. Scott DeJarna? Oh no way. Really? Holy shit. That locals
I'm
is
free.
packed.
Like,
damn.
yeah, they mentioned Scott with
Yeah.
enough frequency that I'm like, he probably lives pretty close to them.
Yeah,
So like, I'm pretty sure that locals is just fucking cracked.
That's cracked ass.
But yeah, like
locals.
shout outs.
Yeah.
Shout outs to all of them. Obviously, shout outs to you. Like I
Yeah.
said, I loved the format
Yeah.
of these like interviews
Welcome.
and just getting to talk.
Thanks.
I'm happy you had me on.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you came on. I was like, woo, we got him.
Thank you.
So it's
Yeah,
another notch in the belt back here. Another notch.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. My YouTube channel is very simple. It's just my first and last name. Easy to find. And then we mentioned a couple times throughout this episode, our first episode of our podcast. Not even knock on wood because I know it's going to happen.
Hell
It
yeah.
has to. Is going to be uploaded to the MGLA YouTube channel tomorrow. Look forward to Ryan's content reveals on that as well. They are part of the podcast. They are baked into us yapping about AOT3 stuff.
Hell yeah.
And in general, I will see everybody at regional events throughout the year. I plan on going to every one of them that is in the like continental United States as well as Canada. And yeah, cool. I appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, again, thanks again. Yeah. So everyone in chat, thanks for hanging out. We're gonna wrap it up. I think I heard my AOT3 content creator package show up while we were talking, so I'm gonna go rip that thing apart and make a video. But yeah, chat. Thanks for Storm of Blades for the Prime sub. You're amazing. I love you. You didn't have to do that.
Hell yeah.
Frog McGee, thanks to my buddy Graham, followed me in the middle of a hockey game when we were there, so that was cool for no apparent reason. But yeah, nice. I'm gonna go ahead and We're gonna go see if we can find someone to raid real quick, and then we'll send everybody home.
I think Tam's on.
Is Tam on? Yeah, we're gonna raid him. All right, we're gonna start the raid. Everybody, go see Tam. Everyone. Again, thanks a lot. Have a good night, everyone. We love you. See you in the next. See you Friday for games. We're grinding on Friday, so bye.
Hell yeah. Bye. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. That was great.
You're welcome.